Welcome back to my channel. When I tell you life happens, oh my god, do life happen. I've been MIA. I just, recently had a sweet baby boy. I've just been adapting to motherhood and just getting a grasp on everything. So yeah, I'm back now. We got a nice little schedule going so I can finally get back to content creating. Now, by the title of this video, you're probably like, well, what is she doing? So this is like a new series that I'm thinking about moving forward with, if you guys are liking it and just enjoying it. So this is going to be where we do makeup and talk about fashion history, and then we can even like branch it out and just talk more about whatever is like hot at the moment, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna be doing my makeup. So if you guys had like seen my Instagram and kind of kept up with me over there, you kind of noticed that I mentioned makeup and fashion history just a little bit. And I was just like, this is something I really want to do. Want to give it a shot, try something new. Happy New Year's for the new year, okay? And that's why we here. So by the time of this video, this is going to be about Dapper Dan. He is a fashion icon who also sparked controversy in his career, but he kept going. And some of these trends today that you see has came from this man. So give him some love, and we're going to get right into his story, okay? Now, in case you didn't know, Dan was born in Harlem, New York in 1944. And he grew up on 129th and Lexington Avenue, okay? Famous Lexington Avenue, with 3 brothers and 3 sisters. His father, Robert, was a civil servant, and his mother, Lily, a homemaker. Now, we're gonna pull out the makeup, y'all. I really don't know what look I'm going for, but we about to just go for it. We're gonna free ball it, okay? So I really don't know what look I'm going for, so we're gonna just have fun. Ride with me. Are you catching what I'm throwing? Because this is gonna be something that's gonna turn out cute, I feel like. Usually when you freestyle your makeup, it usually come out cute because you didn't put no thought behind it. You just let your hands and the makeup guide you, something like that. Okay, I'm gonna start with my eyes because I already got it primed. Allegedly. By age 13, Dan was a skilled gambler. Now, I don't get how at 13, you're a whole gambler out here. Like, what? Oh my God, at 13, I was like reading books and I was not into gambling. I wasn't doing none of that type of stuff. I just was being a child, as you do at 13. But your boy Dan was out here gambling. He definitely was hanging with some older people. He had to be. Now, his success as a gambler helped fund and finance his first store. I guess he was smart in that way because he was using that gambling money to secure a new bag. I'm going to go in with some of my little sparky. Now, when Dan returned to New York in 1974, he decided to be a clother. He decided to pursue fashion. Now, catch this, y'all. Allegedly. Not only did he get into fashion, but he decided to sell shoplifted clothing. So even though he was getting into fashion, he started off with like some boosted shoplifting clothing. He probably had like him a little booster in the neighborhood, and he was selling these items right out of his car. Okay, so he was definitely a risk taker. He was out there securing that bag by any means necessary. Now, Dapper Dan's boutique was located on 125th Street and 5th Avenue. Now, you already know New York is famous for 125th Street. If you know, you know. Opened in 1982, and at times it was open 24 hours a day. So he didn't care. He was working around the clock. It's like, if you need it, I got it. I'm here. The level of determination for me. So it'll be open 24 hours and 7 days a week. So he was just like, if y'all want to come up in here and get suited and booted, I got you. And I mean, when you starting out, you hungry. So that's what he was doing. He was already trying to establish something for himself. So I can't knock that. And that's cool right there. Now, he originally planned to be a clothing wholesaler. Now, the sad part about it is, it was hard for him to tap into the whole wholesaling thing because a lot of these vendors wouldn't work with him, and they would just kind of like, find excuses not to do business with him because of the color of his skin. And I really feel like that's really sad. Business is business. It don't matter what color, it's business is business. And they also was discriminating against him based on like where he was located. It was like, Harlem, 125th Street, no thank you. So a lot of times he would really struggle to buy textiles and even get into the whole wholesaling thing because of these, issues that were bestowed upon him. Instead of purchasing outfits to sell, he started teaching himself how to make these items. He was trying to teach himself how to create, this stuff. It's like if somebody throw lemons at you, you make lemonade. You don't stop, you just keep going. Because a lot of times when you are trying to be an entrepreneur, you are always faced with obstacles, and that's exactly what's happening here with him. And it's like, but you know, they was being racist to him, but it's like, dang, you know, you guys are crazy. But it's like, he still kept going, and I give him that, because it's like, when you're really determined and you really want to make it, you're going to do that. You're not going to let nobody get in your way. And that's what he was doing. He was like, I'm going to teach myself. Okay. He also teached himself textile printing because he was interested in textiles. So he figured, like, I'm going to teach myself textile printing. And that was smart. In the midst of him teaching himself the textiles, he created a new way on screen printing. He learned a new way to do screen printing, a new process. And he was screen printing onto leather. Like, okay, he was definitely testing them little boundaries. He was like, I'm gonna get some leather and I'm gonna screen print on this leather. That was pretty unique to me. He would later also design jewelry and, you know, and car interiors for like luxury automobiles, you know, just dope stuff like that. Like, all that stuff was just dope, okay? Now, he opened his shop in the early 1980s. That was like during like the whole crack epidemic. That's when that was real big. So that's when he opened up his shop. Opened up his shop in the midst of the crack epidemic, okay? And when people was, you know, going through a lot of stuff and getting hooked on drugs, he was just finding a way to make it. This was also, oh, I got too much. Man, this looking like 2010 right now, y'all. Okay. When your girls used to be ashy in the eyes, we gotta tone that down some, baby. That was also when like hip hop was on the rise. And this is crazy because this has boosted his clientele. Like, he was getting a whole bunch of clientele based on, you know, this era and where he was located. Now, Dan had his trademark, it was like the bold usage of logos. It was known, like when you think of logomania, that's him. He was using them, you know, logos from like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Fendi, all of those. People was always referring to his clothes as streetwear. His early clientele in the 1980s was really inspired by like Frank Sinatra, just to name a few. Eric B and Rakim even wore Dapper Dan's, you know, outfit on Paid in Full, on the iconic albums of Paid in Full. So you already know what that did for his image, okay? Dapper Dan even worked with drug pen Paul Martinez, who requested a bulletproof vest. Okay, I was like, oh, where you hiding from? But you a kingpin, so I get it. Tyson got into a brawl with Mitch Green in front of Dapper Dan's store. Which gave Dapper Dan like his first little like media coverage, so it kind of like put him in the spotlight. Good for business, but also like, you got some counterfeit stuff up in there going on, so. Now, Tyson was photographed wearing a knockoff Fendi jacket from Dapper Dan. Now, the use of his logos on different items, you know, it really brought a lot of attention to him. You know, it's sad because he was shunned by the mainstream, you know, industry for years, you know, and decades. And he was even dressing Floyd Mayweather. So Mayweather was still rocking with him through it all. Dapper Dan was deemed one of the founders of streetwear. I mean, think about it. Like, that's our culture. Like, we create a lot of this stuff, and a lot of times we don't get credit for it. They give it to somebody else, which I think is very unfair. It's like, no, Dapper Dan created that. Like, all of these logos you see it on everything, that came from him. I have to say it 100 times because people do not try to give him credit for it. I know, let's take it back. Now, I know in 1992 I said he was shut down. It just, in a sense, made people want his stuff more. It's like that taboo thing where it's like if when you're a kid and like, you know, you're not supposed to do something or you can't have something, it just makes you want it even more. So it was like that. It's like, even though the police was shutting him down, like, what you're doing is illegal, the whole shebang, you know, but it just created more demand for his products. Like, seriously. It made people be like, okay, now I want that jacket. They got all those brands over it, all those logos over it. I want that jacket now. I want that streetwear. I want to wear all of that. So like the police, you know, helped with that propaganda. That helped. They helped. They tried to shut him down, but it was like, okay, I want to wear that stuff now. And it really was a beginning to a new era. Streetwear. Streetwear is here still. We be rocking that. So it just really, like how hip hop was so taboo. The crazy thing about it all, the fashion houses was really upset with Dapper Dan and what he was doing with their logos. But even though people still wanted that look that he was offering, the fashion houses were the ones fulfilling it. So even though they didn't like Dapper Dan and what he was doing, they did take his idea and start putting logos all over their stuff. They started putting their own logos over a lot of their clothes. So it was crazy because it's like, we don't like you, Dapper Dan, but we're going to take what you doing and we're going to make some money off of it because our clientele now wants that. But see how this whole trend started thing? He started this trend. And it's like, people were really wanting this. So then like the fashion house was like, okay, we got to do that now. Greedy. So in 2017, Gucci and Dapper Dan decided to do a collaboration where they combined their style, like, you know, the whole street style and the Italian fashion together. So I thought that was cool, because even though like Gucci was a little upset about Dapper Dan using like their logo, they came to peace about it. So I thought that was cool. I was like, that's how it should be. Like, you know, we all into fashion, we should be able to work together. Dapper Dan did actually, like, you know, spruce it up a bit, because like I said, the fashion houses, they wasn't doing that. They didn't even think about putting logos all over like their clothes. They just was not in the business of doing that. They just was like, we're gonna keep it basic. I'm doing a basic makeup today, y'all. Everyday makeup, let's just say that, everyday makeup. So I think that was cool. I like that. And like I said, you know, you can't mention street style without mentioning Dapper Dan. So I think in essence, like, it just opened up the door for a lot of brands today. Now you see Michael Kors doing it, you see Fendi doing it. I'm gonna go in with this lip color. So yeah, I like to say that, you know, Dapper Dan had like a really interesting life. He's 77 or so last time I checked. I forget what year that was, y'all, but he's pretty up in age. And I just think it's just really cool, like how he really created this whole trend that we know today. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be into streetwear. At least I really don't think we would. I feel like it was just something that was just unheard of, but that needed to be done. So I think that Dapper Dan life was very, oh my god, I got this all on my computer, y'all. And I really think, you know, his life was exciting. He really did his thing. And I'm like here for it, you know. And we have to give the flowers where they're due, okay? He has created a whole epidemic, a whole era out here that we are all heavily into. So I just feel like, in a sense, you know, some of the big heavy hitter companies were a little shady about how they went about it. Because even though like they were like, oh my god, like you're taking my logo and you're like making money from it illegally, but then they turned around and started using their own logos and just started copying the whole style. Granted, it is their logo, so do your thing, but it's like y'all would not have been doing that. So I'm glad that him and Gucci were able to, you know, have a collaboration and really just, you know, come together and for the sake of the fashion industry, you know. But look, he was born August 8th. I should have said that earlier, but he a Leo. So y'all know how Leos is. They be, woo. Leos don't care. They gonna do what they do, okay? But yeah, Dapper Dan, I see you. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you share this to somebody who's interested in the fashion industry. Share it to everybody, okay? Let's get it out. Share it to everybody. So this is my face. I hope you guys enjoyed this, because I enjoyed it. You know, let's do some history. Let's get cute. We do our makeup, we get cute, and we could still be learning about where a lot of these trends came from. I really enjoyed doing this series, and I hope you guys enjoy watching it as much as I enjoy filming it. Show love to people who created these trends today. Show love, you know, prop them up. You know, that's it for this video. I hope you guys like this video. Be sure to share it with everybody. I see y'all in the next one. Comment down below if you like clothes that got logos all over them. I know you do, because y'all be shopping at Michael Kors and LV, so I know y'all like that. But comment anyway, and let me know who you want to see next, because I'm into doing this. So let me know what you want to see next. Be sure to give it a like, turn notifications on, subscribe, and show love. See y'all in the next one.